about the lie behind Hillary Clinton's movement for 28th Amendment. For over 20 years they have known this, and if it was not for anonymous activists in helping expose this would have never have been known. Politicians funnel funds into corporate agendas, and they use tax dollars to fund their elections. This makes Hillary Clinton out to be a lie. Presidential candidate Hillary Clinton issued a set of proposals to reform our nation's campaign finance system, which included a call for a constitutional amendment to overturn the Supreme Court's Citizen United ruling and related rulings and to allow for overall spending limits in our elections. This marks a significant shift from Clinton's prior statement on April 14, 2015, in which she qualified this call by saying, "We need to fix our dysfunctional political system and get unaccountable money out of it once and for all, even if it takes a constitutional amendment." In subsequent statements, she has reiterated this call for an amendment, if necessary. The shift in Clinton's campaign platform demonstrates the growing power of the movement for 28th Amendment and the lie behind it.
The Comptroller General of the United States is the Director of the Government Accountability Office, or GAO, formerly known as the General Accounting Office, a legislative branch agency founded by Congress in 1921 to ensure the fiscal and managerial accountability of the federal government. The Comptroller General has the responsibility to audit the financial statements that the Secretary of the Treasury and the Director of the Office of Management and Budget present to the Congress and the President. For every fiscal year since 1996, when consolidated financial statements began, the Comptroller General has refused to endorse the accuracy of the consolidated figures for the federal budget, citing 1. Serious financial management problems at the Department of Defense. 2. The federal government's inability to adequately account for and reconcile intragovernmental activity and balances between federal agencies. And 3. The federal government's ineffective process for preparing the consolidated financial statements. The following is a short interview with myself and former U.S. Comptroller General David Walker. This precedent set by the Supreme Court have to do with taxpayer money? To get the answer to this, let's take a look at the Sunshine Review. Here we have Delaware taxpayer-funded lobbying. Taxpayer-funded lobbying is the practice of engaging in lobbying activities as a public entity. This is done by counties, cities, school districts, public facilities, and many other entities that receive taxpayer money through public funds. This is controversial because the agenda being lobbied for are not decided by taxpayers, whose money is used for the practice. This means the outcomes of lobbying are sometimes opposed to the constituents' benefit. In other words, taxpayer-funded lobbying is not in the interest of the voting tax-paying public. But let's take a look at another state's taxpayer-funded lobbying. California has the same definition for taxpayer-funded lobbying, meaning that the outcomes of such lobbying are sometimes opposed to the constituents' or taxpayers' benefit. Lobbying the federal government by state and local entities totaled $84.2 million that year. This is the money that's being donated to campaigns. This is the money that's paying for votes. This is the money that is paying for politicians. When we go to California taxpayer-funded lobbying on the Sunshine Review, here we have a list of taxpayer-funded lobbying associations. Remember, an association is a corporation. The following is a list of California taxpayer-funded lobbying associations by type. Here we see lobby after lobby for employees of government-related jobs. When we look at Executive Order 12803, Infrastructure Privatization, we read in Section 1, Definitions, for purposes of this order, A, privatization means the disposition or transfer of an infrastructure asset, such as by sale or by long-term lease from a state or local government to a private party, In other words, the selling of taxpayer-funded infrastructure to private corporations or individuals. B. Infrastructure asset means any asset financed in whole or in part by the federal government, in other words, taxpayer money, and needed for the functioning of the economy. Examples of such assets include, but are not limited to, roads, tunnels, etc. And D. Transfer price means the amount paid or to be paid by a private party for an infrastructure asset if the asset is transferred as a result of a competitive bidding. This, my friends, is why the carpool lanes on your freeways and highways have turned into toll roads that you must pay to use. A private corporation now leases or owns those lanes, either outright or through public-private partnerships or PPPs, despite being built with your taxpayer monies. This is also why closed-circuit TV cameras are now mounted just about everywhere you look, monitoring your every move at every major intersection that you cross. This is why the parking police in Hollywood are actually part of a private corporation based in New York City.
There is a new worry on our southern border tonight, with border agents overwhelmed by this huge recent surge in illegal immigrants. The cartels are now taking advantage.
Megan, let me just say this. What I've watched over the last few days is so problematic that what I'm about to say on your show is the most important thing I've ever said on your show. We have so many problems facing this country. We know them all, especially the major ones: joblessness, welfare, national security, so on and so on. And as I stood on that border and I watched those cartels drag over all the things they did, I went over to the bus depots and watched thousands upon thousands of illegal aliens be bussed around almost as if they were at Disneyland, being sent off to somewhere USA. All I could think was that all those major problems just became a major epidemic. Our Border Patrol, I met with the Border Patrol today. I met with them secretly. They told me the morale is down. The criminals that are coming through this country is earth-shattering. And I can tell you this, I feel that our country and the future of our children have officially fallen off the cliff.
We have a message for Hillary Clinton. Members of Parliament should have never messed with our constitutional laws. We are anonymous. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Expect us.
It is a war on the web. The largest attack ever by the hacktivist group Anonymous.
Have attacked several media, government, and music and film industry websites.
They attacked and successfully shut down the sites for the U.S. Department of Justice, the U.S. Copyright Office, Universal Music Group, the Recording Industry Association of America, and the Motion Picture Association of America.
The online assault came within minutes of the move by U.S. authorities to shut down the major file-sharing website Mega Upload. Its founders have been arrested, accused of copyright infringement.
Touchdown and hear the silence of the sounds. I see the violence in the crowds, it's hard to hear it loud. Listen with the open mind, open blind, trying to find the matter of facts. The mad hatter arrest, lost in the space, trying to find room. I wasn't born, I escaped from the womb. I can relate to the mood, penetrate your mood, so your mouth shut so I can talk to you. Understand my views, we sound so true, make you wanna believe, wanna achieve. With words on my sleeve, the sickness is the path in the distance. Four walls consumed by sound, stand tall up on your ground. Advance, grow like plants, water the seeds, slaughter and seeds, so your daughter and me can breathe. So much to touch that I must bust. Lyrical lust, I won't be hushed by the hearts that'll crush and crushed by man's touch. The silence of the sounds is what I trust. In the silence of the sounds, with the minds in the clouds, look around. In the silence of the sounds, with the minds in the clouds, look around. In the silence of the sounds, with the minds in the clouds, look around. In the silence of the sounds, with the minds in the clouds, look around. Furthermore, tradition from Corinth is torn between the two forms. thoughts upon the chords of human spawns. My relief to find the silence of the sound. Silence in the sounds with the minds in the clouds.